Welcome to Hashtnagar Digital. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates in early 2026. The world was stunned. BRICS, once seen as a bloc representing the global south, made a historic move by welcoming Turkey and Hungary, two European nations, into its ranks for the very first time. This expansion marked a dramatic turning point, not just for BRICS, but for the global balance of power itself. This wasn't just a diplomatic headline, it was a fundamental shift, signaling the unraveling of the old Western-led order and the rise of a truly multipolar world. The inclusion of European countries in BRICS sent shockwaves through international institutions and forced policymakers everywhere to rethink their assumptions. Turkey and Hungary's entry challenges the very idea of a unified West, forcing every nation to reconsider its alliances, strategies, and even its identity in a rapidly changing world. The implications are vast. Economically, it threatens the dominance of the US dollar and could accelerate the search for alternative global currencies, impacting trade and investment flows worldwide. Politically, it creates rifts within the EU and NATO, as member states debate their loyalties and the future direction of their alliances. For ordinary people, this could reshape trade, investment, and the very nature of international cooperation, affecting jobs, prices, and opportunities in ways that are only beginning to be understood. This moment is the result of years of shifting priorities, mounting economic pressures, and a growing desire among nations for autonomy from Western dictates and greater influence on the world stage. The story of how we arrived here is still unfolding, with consequences that will shape the world for years to come. As new alliances form and old ones are tested, the future of global power remains uncertain and the world watches closely. BRICS began as an economic idea in 2001, grouping Brazil, Russia, India, and China as rising powers. The bloc quickly evolved from a catchy acronym into a political force, seeking to reform global institutions dominated by the West. South Africa joined in 2010, making it BRICS and adding an African dimension. The group built its own institutions like the New Development Bank and the Contingent Reserve Arrangement, offering alternatives to the IMF and World Bank. Despite internal differences, BRICS members shared a vision, reduce dependency on the West, and build a multipolar world. This foundation set the stage for the dramatic expansion that would transform BRICS into a global coalition. The BRICS Plus era began in the mid-2020s, marking a pivotal shift in the global order. What started as a coalition of 5 major emerging economies soon evolved into something much larger and more inclusive. The group shattered the idea of a closed club, opening its doors to new voices and perspectives from across the world. At the historic Kazan summit, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, and the UAE joined, broadening the bloc's reach into Africa and the Middle East, and signaling a new era of cooperation. Indonesia soon followed, and with its addition, BRICS Plus became a true powerhouse, representing nearly half the world's population and over a third of global GDP. The group's influence now spanned multiple continents and cultures. The appeal for new members was clear: access to vast new markets, opportunities for development financing, and a seat at the table in shaping the future of the global economy. For many, it also offered a shield from Western sanctions and the chance to build financial systems less dependent on traditional Western institutions. For some, like Iran, joining BRICS Plus was a lifeline, an opportunity to break out of economic isolation and find new partners. For others, such as the UAE, it was a strategic move to diversify partnerships and strengthen their role in global trade and diplomacy. The New Development Bank emerged as a key draw, offering developing nations much-needed funding, without the political strings often attached to Western loans. Integrating such a diverse group of members wasn't easy, but the flexible BRICS Plus framework allowed for gradual, thoughtful expansion, adapting to the needs and ambitions of each new member. The bloc's growth was methodical and deliberate, building a coalition united by the desire for a greater say in global affairs and a more balanced world order. Today, BRICS Plus stands as a grand coalition, no longer defined by geography or ideology, but by a shared pursuit of influence, opportunity, and a voice in shaping the future of the world. The most dramatic BRICS Plus expansion was its entry into Europe. Turkey and Hungary became full members in 2026, marking a historic turning point for the bloc and for the continent itself. For the first time, two nations deeply rooted in European history and institutions chose to align themselves with a group long seen as a challenger to Western dominance. Turkey, frustrated by years of stalled EU accession talks and eager to diversify its economic partnerships, saw BRICS as a powerful platform to assert itself as a true Eurasian hub. The move was also driven by a desire to play a more independent role on the world stage, leveraging its unique geography and growing influence. Hungary, under the leadership of Viktor Orbán, used BRICS membership to reinforce its sovereignty and push back against what it saw as overreach from Brussels. For Orbán, joining BRICS was a statement of intent, a way to diversify Hungary's alliances and assert its right to chart its own course. Both nations had already deepened ties with Russia and China, signaling a clear break from exclusive Western alignment and demonstrating their willingness to embrace a more multipolar approach to foreign policy. Their accession shattered the old East-West binary, showing that BRICS's appeal now extends even to countries embedded in Western institutions. It was a bold move that challenged assumptions about Europe's political future. This move challenges the cohesion of the EU and NATO, forcing them to confront diverging interests and loyalties within their own ranks, and raising difficult questions about unity and shared purpose. Turkey and Hungary's decision is more than just expansion. It's a redefinition of what it means to be European in a multipolar world, and a signal that the continent's future is far from settled. The West must now reckon with a new reality. Its own members are seeking alternatives, and the global order is being rewritten before our eyes. The Russia-Ukraine war set the stage for Europe's BRICS pivot. As Western-led peace efforts stalled, Russia called for BRICS involvement in negotiations, elevating the bloc's global stature. Turkey, already a mediator, saw BRICS as a way to gain influence denied in Western forums. Hungary's neutral stance on Ukraine was vindicated as BRICS's collective neutrality gained credibility. For both, joining BRICS became about securing a voice in the new global security architecture, not just economics. The Ukraine conflict became a catalyst, accelerating the realignment BRICS had long envisioned. BRICS expansion, especially with European economies, is reshaping global finance. The bloc's goal: reduce reliance on the US dollar by building a parallel financial system. Major energy producers and transit hubs like Turkey give BRICS leverage over commodity pricing. The new development bank now issues more loans in local currencies, shielding members from dollar volatility. New payment systems like BRICS Pay aim to bypass Western-controlled networks like SWIFT. For Turkey and Hungary, this means access to new markets and funding, free from Western political strings. The shift brings opportunities, greater economic resilience and sovereignty, but also risks fragmenting the global economy. With Europe on board, the trend accelerates, forcing the West to adapt to a world where its economic dominance is no longer assured. Turkey and Hungary's BRICS membership is an earthquake for the EU and NATO. It raises tough questions. Can a NATO member partner with Russia in BRICS? Can the EU remain united with members openly defying its consensus? Hungary's veto power and new alliances could paralyze EU decision-making, while NATO faces trust and security dilemmas. The move signals a decline in the West's ability to set the global agenda. Turkey and Hungary offer a new model, maintaining Western ties while forging deep partnerships with the East. This multi-alignment strategy may appeal to others feeling constrained by Western alliances. The West must now choose: punish defectors or adapt to a more flexible, pluralistic world order. Analysts agree. BRICS European expansion marks the dawn of a multipolar era. The bloc is no longer just the global south. It's a global institution blurring old divides. Members range from US allies to rivals, united by a desire for a greater voice and less Western dominance. The challenge: managing internal differences, especially between China and India. Economically, BRICS Plus has surpassed the G7 in purchasing power, accelerating the move away from the dollar. The result: a more fragmented, less stable financial system, impacting everything from interest rates to consumer prices. Alliances are now fluid. Nations practice multi-alignment to maximize flexibility. The West must prove its model remains attractive in this new age of free agents. Turkey and Hungary's entry is a wake-up call, forcing a reassessment of global power and alliances. We're at a crossroads. BRICS's expansion is more than a headline. It's a sign of a world in flux. The rise of BRICS Plus challenges us to think beyond old categories and engage with a future defined by complexity and fluid alliances. This isn't just about geopolitics. It will affect jobs, prices, and security in our daily lives. Understanding these shifts is a civic duty, not just an academic exercise. Stay curious, seek diverse perspectives, and engage in dialogue about the forces shaping our world. The future of the global order is unwritten, and your voice matters in shaping what comes next. Let's write the next chapter together.